Are you thinking about moving to Red State America, but you're not quite sure where you want to go? Are you on YouTube right now, kind of searching out all the different places? You're looking around your neighborhood. Maybe you live in California or Illinois. You live in, Oregon or Washington. You're looking around and you're thinking, this isn't the place where I want to be anymore. And there's got to be something else out there. And you're seeing everybody move to Texas and Idaho and Tennessee. And you're saying, hey, what else is out there? Well, if that's the case for you, if you're wondering what are some other options in terms of where to move to a red state, in this video, what I want to do is I want to talk about the 5, what I'm going to call kind of maybe overlooked red states to consider. And what I want to do in this video is I just want to plant the seed, right? I'm not going to go into too much depth in each of these states. What I want to do is I just want to put them on your radar, and you can go out on the internet and do your own research and dig deeper into each of these states and look at the various cities and towns and think maybe something might suit you, right? And so if that's the case, hey, watch this video. My name is Jason. I'm the founder of Red State Relocate, and what I want to do with not only my business but this channel is I want to connect with people like yourself, people who have to, or I'd say people who feel like they need to get out of the blue area. You've got the blue state blues, and you're not quite sure where to go. Well, I want to help you get there. Not only do I want to connect you up with like-minded, conservative-minded realtors in the market you live in to help you sell your house, but I'm going to connect you up with realtors in the market you're moving to, and they can show you around and they can understand. I'll say this, they already know your values. They already know who you are. And they're excited to work with you, and they want to show you around. They want to show you what's going to make a good home for you and for your family, and somewhere that's going to fit good. And so what I want to do, like I say in this video, is I just want to talk about 5 states that are maybe could fit the bill for you, right? If these things are important to you, like maybe family and outdoors, and maybe you want to go hunt, you want your kids to go to a school where maybe they're not being taught to hate our country like so many schools are these days. Those are values that are probably really important to you. And these are states where maybe you'll find those things. And so maybe if you start doing, some deeper research in these areas, maybe one of these places will suit you. And so I got a list here. I wrote it down. I kind of want to go through it. So pardon me if I'm looking down at my notes. But again, we're going to go through 5 states. The number one state that I have on my list is Arkansas. Okay. Think about Arkansas. I know a lot of people go, what, Arkansas? Well, that's the point. We're talking about overlooked states. But something that I wrote down here, and it's really common across a lot of these states, is you have a Republican governor and you have Republican senators. And if you come from a state like California, where you haven't seen a Republican elected to office, right, in decades, at least not at the state level, it's something to consider. And yeah, Arkansas gets a reputation, but I'm telling you, there's some great cities there, and every city is going to have its neighborhoods and its developments and its communities. So something to consider. So think about Arkansas. And again, yeah, I talked about the governor. Okay. Let me kind of rephrase this. You do have Asa Hutchinson. Republican, maybe, right? He's a Republican. He's a bit of a rhino. I think if we took Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, and Asa Hutchinson and maybe put them on a rocket to Mars, we might be better off for it. But Asa Hutchinson is your governor, or Hutchinson, I'm sorry. But it's Arkansas, right? Arkansas is the home of the Clintons. It's where Bill Clinton was he was the mayor of Little Rock. So, and was he the governor? He might have been the governor of Arkansas as well. But yeah, there's some Democrat politics there. But on the good side, you have John Boozman and Tom Cotton. I'm telling you, Tom Cotton's a baller, right? We know him. He's a war hero. He served his country well, and he's really doing a great job in the Senate. But here's the other thing about Arkansas to think about. I wrote this down, 600,000 acres of lakes. Okay, so if you like to fish, you like to boat, right? Maybe some skiing, you like the outdoors, there's some hill country out there. You can get in the hills and the Ozarks and all that action. You could probably live a pretty good life, okay? And it's something to really think about. Again, I'm just putting it on the map. And also with Arkansas, if Second Amendment is important to you, if you really value If you like to carry, I'll say, if you're a pro, constitutional carry, they have permitless carry in Arkansas. So think about that. And maybe if you're not really into carry, but just maybe firearms is just a hobby of yours, well, states like Arkansas are going to be a place where it'll be more favorable to your hobby than a lot of these blue states are. You can at least buy ammo in these places, right? Second state, okay, state number 2 to think about is Alabama. Man, Alabama is a cool state, and I'm not just talking about Alabama Roll Tide, right? Football, that Saban style football, or Auburn, right? Whoever your team is. But if you're coming from, say, the West Coast, you're coming from California, you're like myself, you're from Oregon or Washington, you're used to coastline. Alabama could be a really good option for you because Alabama has an amazing, amazing southern coast. And on the Alabama coast, and I know maybe some Alabama residents, if they're watching this, are going to kind of get mad at me for letting the secret out, but there's some really, really cool little towns right there along the Alabama coast, and they're not expensive, and you can live a pretty good life, and you can have access to all the good seafood and all the good living that you want. Again, we have Kay Ivey, Governor Kay Ivey, Republican. She's pretty kick-ass. You got Richard Shelby and Tommy Tuberville. You got some pretty good, if you're a Republican-minded person, even if you're a Libertarian-minded person, this is the kind of place where, hey, man, you can just kind of go live your own life. In places like Alabama, they really value themselves on that. They're just like, hey, you just go live your life and do your thing. And they really, they really leave you alone. Now, look, if you get in some of the smaller towns, right, you might get a little bit more of the, old school mentality, but that's not unexpected. If you kind of go where, I'll say, you're going to go do your research, you're going to know where you're going. So just think about it. Think about Alabama. Huntsville. So I wrote down Huntsville here. Huntsville's actually kind of a nice little town. Maybe the people in Huntsville right now are mad at me again for sharing this information, but check it out. But I got a question for those of you in Alabama if you're watching this. I got this note. Is it really illegal to play dominoes on a Sunday? You guys got some funky laws over there. I guess every state has its funny laws, but that was a fun one. All right, number 3. Okay, number 3 state, if you really want to think about, I'm going to tell you, this is one of my personal favorites, is Wyoming. All right, if you want a red state that's red and awesome and has, like, you like to hunt, you like to fish, you like the outdoors, you like skiing, you like snow, you like family, and oh man, I tell you what, Wyoming is awesome. Again, Governor Mark Gordon, Republican, right? You got John Barrasso, Cynthia Loomis. Again, Republicans, top to bottom. You're moving to a state that is managed well. Now, it's a low population state. Okay, there's more people in the city of Denver than there is in the entire state, right, of Wyoming. Now, some people see that as a bad thing, and they want to get out of there because of that. They want some more, some more city life or whatever. Well, some people are saying, you know what, that's kind of the life for me. I like to slow it down. I like Wyoming. You got Devil's Tower. A lot of the towns that are on the east side of Wyoming, I love them. I used to live in Denver, and I used to ride to Sturgis every year with my friends. And we get up there going up, the east side of Wyoming. Lusk, I remember, was one of the towns. I forget some of the others, but beautiful country out there. Now, yeah, it's windy, a little bit windy. I've had a few moments where I was on my motorcycle and I got a little nervous with the wind. But Wyoming's fun. Cheyenne Frontier Days, if you've never been, you gotta go. It's the PBR rodeo. I used to go there every year with my neighbor. We saw Bon Jovi, Sugarland. We got the PBR rodeo. I mean, just a good time, right? And so, it's just a good spot. It's a good place to raise a family or retire. If you're looking at cashing out of California and saying, I'm taking my chips and I'm going to go somewhere chill and fun and nice and where I can still go watch the rodeo and go see a Bon Jovi concert, you should check out Cheyenne, Wyoming, man. Or Casper's cool too. So, and I did write one yay and one nay for Wyoming. And I got a question for you in Wyoming, all you residents of Wyoming. So my yay is Cheyenne Frontier Days. That's awesome. Love it. But my nay is Liz Cheney. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing, Wyoming? How did you get her in there? My goodness. Wow. I'm going to guess when you voted for her, you didn't know she was going to turn into what she turned into, right? I mean, my goodness. Her and, like I say, Mitt Romney, they ought to just go, just go retire somewhere. Maybe they could go retire to not Wyoming. How about that? So what's my next one? All right. State number 4, South Dakota. All right. Think about this. South Dakota, again, I'm going to put South Dakota probably in one of my top 3 favorite red states in terms of maybe I'm looking at South Dakota pretty serious myself for down the road. Again, I've been to Sturgis more times than I can count. I've had a great time. I've ridden through the Badlands, Rapid City, all that. I've not gone to the east side or the east, what they call East River, a lot. I've ridden through it coming from from the east side, from Minneapolis. But man, South Dakota is awesome. It's awesome. You got Kristi Noem, she's the governor there, and she's kicking butt, and she's making a big name for herself. She ain't taking no BS from anybody. And that's no BS from Republicans, too. And they're coming after her a little bit as well. But you got John Thune and Mike Rounds, man. You got some pretty good Republican representation up there. Again, you got Sturgis, you got Mount Rushmore, you've got the Badlands, you got all these national parks. Just beautiful. Deadwood, Lead, just great history out there. And it's a no income tax state. Okay, so if you're looking to go somewhere, maybe you have a work from home kind of business, you can work from anywhere. Think about going there, man. If you're coming from California and you go to South Dakota with the same business, you're essentially giving yourself a 13% raise just on the state income tax alone. Okay, it's why Joe Rogan moved to Texas. Texas is a no income tax state, and he got that $100 million contract from Spotify. I believe it was Spotify, right? He saved $13 million just leaving California. This is where California's blowing it. They're blowing it. And this is why people are moving. This is why people with money are leaving. They say money goes where it's treated best. I mean, just the tax savings alone for Joe Rogan, he could buy a $13 million mansion, and it was basically for free if you consider what it would have cost him in California. So South Dakota is the same thing. If you got a work from home business, think about it. If you work from home, you can stay inside anyways when it's snowy and cold. But here's the other thing about South Dakota. If you have an RV, if you're thinking about selling your house and moving into an RV and traveling the country for a couple of years and say, hey man, I just want to wait for all this crazy business to end. I'm just going to just shut out for a while, travel the country and check out from a lot of this. Look at South Dakota. South Dakota is what's called a domicile state. So you can register your RV in South Dakota. You get a South Dakota plate and a South Dakota license, driver's license immediately. There's places you can go there where they will give you your license and your license plate on the spot for your RV. You can do mail forwarding, all that. All your mail can go there. They take care of it for you. I think there might be some cost with that, so look into it. But if RVing is in your future and you're looking for a place to domicile, Texas is one, South Dakota, I think Florida, but a lot of people go to South Dakota and for a lot of reasons, but just think about it. It's something to think about. I love it. What else we got? All right, the last state, let's wrap this video up because I'm talking a lot, is Oklahoma. All right, number 5, Oklahoma. People say, what, Oklahoma? Hey, look, if you want to move to a red state and you want to move to a red state that's going to stay red for a long time. I know I thought about this one time. I said, where can I move that it'll be red long after me? Because I don't want to move somewhere and then have it go blue on me, right? Like what happened to people in Colorado, right? People moved to Colorado. I moved to Colorado in 2004. It was a red state when I moved there. It wasn't a red state when I left, okay? When I came back to California anyway. So just think about Oklahoma. What were my notes on that? Yeah, definitely Red State Relocate, or Red State. It's going to stay red. Some towns, some like neighborhoods, right? Some communities around Oklahoma City and Tulsa. I have Elva, Edmond, Norman, Bixby, and Jenks. Okay, so Jenks, is that right? I'm sure you Oklahomans will correct me. But these are some kind of the bedroom communities around the major cities of Tulsa and Oklahoma City to consider. Really affordable, right? Great neighbors. You're going to have access to, right, great outdoor life, hunting, fishing, all the stuff that you enjoy at a great price that you can buy a house. You got Governor Kevin Stitt. Jim Inhofe is your senator. He's awesome. And James Lankford. And James Lankford, if you watch any Republican news, I mean, that dude is pretty kick butt too. He don't mess around either. Now, here's a cool thing though about Oklahoma, especially Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and also something about Miami, which I'm going to talk about later. These are pretty major cities that have Republican mayors. Okay, even Miami. Think about Miami; they have a Republican mayor, and usually your major cities are going to be run by Democrats. That's just the way it is. That's where the seat of government is. That's where people who rely on city services and city government reside. They tend to vote Democrat. And that's not the case for Oklahoma City and Tulsa. They do have some Republican mayors. Now, granted, I wrote down for Holt, right? For Mayor Holt in Oklahoma City. He's a bit of a rhino. Okay, he's a bit of a rhino. But hey, look, it is what it is. Some of these guys, they have to play the game. But hey, think about Oklahoma. Really good, affordable place. Good place to raise your kids. And here's a cool thing too. You're really in the center of kind of the United States. You're really in a really good spot. So if you want to drop down into Texas, it's not far. You can drop down into Dallas, go have a good time, go spend the night, go to a concert, have some fun. You can go to Denver, right? You can pop into, Kansas or Arkansas. Go have, just go live life. You're right in the middle. You're a short plane ride to pretty much anywhere in the country. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to be able to kind of be centrally located like that. There's some value to that. So if you really want to dig deeper into a lot of these places, and I'm going to do some more videos on some other red states, okay? But there's a guy on YouTube right now. His name's Nick Johnson. If you have not seen Nick Johnson, look him up. He really gets deep. And I don't think he's a real estate guy. I just think he's a YouTube guy, just really kind of getting down into the, into the weeds on a lot of these states, a lot of the cities, the towns, the regions within the state. And watch his videos. His name's Nick Johnson. In each of these states, he's going to do videos where you can just kind of just get an idea of maybe somewhere that fits you better. He actually does interviews with some of the residents of these states and gets their input on what it's like. So if you think that's value to you, look him up. And if you're thinking that, like I said earlier, if you're thinking that where you're living now isn't serving you, it's not working for you, and you want to get out, look, I don't blame you. And that's why Red State Relocate exists. I really wish this business didn't exist. I wish you could be living in the place you're living now, and you'd be happy there, and you could live your life, and your kids could go to a school, and you could, just live the life that you deserve. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And my business exists because that's not the case, because I want to help you get out of there. I want to help you move, and I can connect you up with a realtor in your market that shares your values. You don't have to worry about one dime of the commission that's paid on your house to go to a Red State Relocate agent. It's not going to go to something that you don't agree with. Okay, Gavin Newsom's recall election is not going to see a dime of our money. Okay, Nancy Pelosi will not be able to buy any fancy ice cream for her $20,000 refrigerators. Okay, not through Red State Relocate. That's not going to happen. So we're going to take care of you. We understand where you're coming from. We want to move you. We want to get you in a place where you can live the life you deserve, where your kids can be taught things that you agree with, right? Where your business can thrive and not be taxed to death. That's what Red State Relocate is about. So if that's something that could be of use to you, please reach out, call me, email me. All my information is in the description. And I wish you well. I wish you luck. I hope this video brought you some value, brought you some insight. Like I said, I'm just trying to plant the seed. But until then, I'll see you in the next video. And God bless. Thank you.